Anybody want to go over the notes we did for personal prayer? Anybody remember? Do we need to go over that or continue?
You gave us a formula for personal prayer. I think it was 4 elements: faith, belief, confess,
appeal. They didn't change.
It'll change under the appeal. So anybody have any questions on that? King gave a good tape. I don't know if this is the tape.
Yeah.
I think it's my personal prayer, isn't it?
Mhm.
This is called a secret personal prayer.
The secret of.
The secret of personal prayer. It's a good CD where he go into depth in that. If anyone want to get that. And that formula is there. And what it is that you have an undying belief in God, knowing that that this divine law is all around you, and that you, as a divine spark of God, can tap into that power, right? And when you know that, when you have that belief, when you put your frame of mind in that belief, and the second thing you do is you confess all your weaknesses. And then despite all your weaknesses, despite your position and all your faults, you realize, because of your belief in God, that you have the right to pull on this power, because this power is a part of you. It is you, because you are a part of God. And then you make the appeal to pull down this prana through your body and push it back out with purpose and direction. And once you make that action, then you change under that appeal. And he goes into that in great depth in this CD.
Which one is this?
It's called The Secret of Personal Prayer. The Secret of Personal Prayer. So, I mean, that's one of the secrets of personal prayer. And when you do it, you'll really feel a big difference, because of course we know that, confession is good for the soul. So in the light of your belief that God exists, and that there's this unlimited source of Shakti power, prana, that you can pull down on, then you make the confession and you realize that in the confession you state that you are here where you are because of you and no one else. And you confess all your faults, all your sins, all your whatever. And then say, even though I am, a divine spark of God, from the absolute. And because of this, I appeal to you to allow the power to flow through me. And then you push that power out. Okay? And that's the way you do it. Now, we went over in dynamic prayer. Did I go over dynamic prayer? Dynamic prayer is prayer where you place all your feeling. I didn't go over that. You place all your feeling in the prayer. Okay, you place all your feeling in the prayer. You allow your emotions, your controlled emotions, not flights of fancy emotion. You don't want to go off and start talking in tongues or whatever. You don't want that. What you want is controlled emotions. You want to channel your emotions the same way an actor do under, in a good film, where they control their emotions so much that when they project them on the big screen, they have you crying. You want to be able to do that, to make that same projection, because what happened is the prana that you pull down into your auric structure, you want to put purpose and direction in that prana, and the only way you can do that is through your controlled emotions with imagination and visualization. Controlled imagination and visualization with the feelings, all your feelings. If you say, Almighty God, you want to put all your feelings, all your belief that there is a God, and then when you ask for the divine power to fall upon you, you want to make sure that that all your belief is in that, so that it colors the prana that's being pulled down through you with the mudra that you have, that you are doing. This is a mudra. You want to make sure that when you hold your hands up here and activate the heart chakra and the chakras in the palm, you want to make sure that you color that energy with purpose and direction. Okay, so that's where you put all your feelings, and it's good to just practice. Go into a room by yourself and practice placing all your feeling in that prayer. You have a particular prayer, you want to place all your feeling. Go into a room and practice over and over and over and over and over, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day, until you get the exact feeling in that prayer. So when you do go and do the prayer, then you're in a whole world of your own. You don't see, you don't feel anyone else. You just, that prayer and you are one. And then you push that energy out, because you're bringing the energy in and you're pushing it out. And when it leaves you with a signature of yourself and what you want to happen. And then you'll see the miracles happen. You'll see things change. Okay? That's dynamic prayer. And you want to do it, and you want to do it. The reason why you want to do it like that, because what usually happens with our minds is we have these grass-hopping thoughts. Everybody have them, right? You go to do something, and then you start thinking about, I wonder if I locked the door. I wonder if I left the stove on. I didn't finish the work I was supposed to do at my job. You don't want those things to happen. So in dynamic prayer, when you place yourself into this type of controlled emotional state, only thing you're going to think about is pulling those emotions up and controlling them and pushing them out. It's the same way with dynamic mantra. Dynamic mantra, you say that dynamic mantra was feeling and quick. Why? Why do you want to say it quick? Because what happens when you're chanting the mantra very, very, very quick, it doesn't give your mind a chance to think about other things. So what are you doing? You're creating this screen, because all around us right now, our auras are linked, and we're picking up the thoughts of each other, and we're picking up the thoughts that's moving through this room from someone else, and we're picking up the residue thoughts of students or teachers that was here for months. But when you bring about this state of concentration, and this is the first state of so-called meditation, when you bring about this state of concentration, what you do is you create a a channel, just one stream of thought, where you direct all your mental thoughts down one channel, and nothing comes in. You create the screen to block out everything else. And that's where you want to be in your prayer, in your pranayama, in any type of yoga that you do. You want to bring about a state of concentration. If you don't bring about this state of concentration, you might as well say cat, dog, cat, dog, cat, dog, because nothing's going to happen. You're not going to develop yourself. So the first thing you must do is bring about this state of concentration. When you can channel your thoughts down one road, one direction without interruption, then comes contemplation. And with the contemplation in your prayer, you'll begin to see colors, visions. You'll be able to look through the walls. You'll be able to see into the future. But all those things doesn't matter, because what you want to do, you want to stay focused on your prayer. So when you gain that type of ability, you want to push that power, that type of concentration, contemplation into your prayer, so that you can see the energy leaving you and going to the place where it needs to go. And that gives the energy a greater boost. Greater boost. Now, instead of the energy moving at the speed of an etheric car, it's going to move at the speed of a plane with your contemplation. See, and that's where you want to be. So you bring this ability of concentration by controlled imagination, controlled visualization, in a state of controlled emotions. Okay. And you put all your feeling into the prayer, so that the prayer, the energy that's coming within you, is colored with your signature. And your signature should be the purpose and direction that you want that energy to go. Okay? And that's the secret of dynamic prayer. All right? Any questions on that?
The energy that we're sending out, where is that coming from?
The energy is coming from everywhere.
Universal supply.
It's a universal supply of energy. Everything in this solar system, everything in the galaxy, everything in the universe is made up of energy. Okay, now I gave out detailed information on that at the beginning of the class. And I think it's online now. Isn't it online? Did I put it online already?
Yeah, you put
I
that.
think I put it online. I
Yeah.
put charts and graphs online. So the prana is all around us. It's all around us. And we pull down this prana, every day. In fact, our bodies are made up of this prana. Our mental bodies are made up of this prana. This prana is everywhere. Now, what we want to do is pull down on the subtle prana of the mental, emotional, and physical planes and astral planes. And we want to push this prana out with purpose and direction. And that's what prayer is all about. Prayer is about controlling this subtle energy, all right? It's not about, some type of emotional release, It's not about just making someone feel good. You can actually heal with prayer. You can actually do all type of things with prayer. You can bring about a different environment. You can bring about certain attributes within yourself through prayer. You can heal yourself. You can do anything with prayer. So it really, really works when you control this prana that flows through us. You can really, really, really change your world and anyone around you. Yeah.
So this prana is everywhere. Why do we have to send it out? Why can't everyone just tap into it
Because the
themselves?
prana is so you're going somewhere I don't want to go. It's it's like a bullet. You have a bullet, and a bullet can go anywhere if it's not aimed, right? Well, and prana's, prana's like that. Sunlight, if we control sunlight, then what we can do, we can turn sunlight into electricity, right? But if we just let sunlight hit the earth, 50% of it's going to be reflected back out into space. But we can harness that sunlight with special glass that's been shaped in a certain way to trap this energy, right? And then we can use it for other purposes. So it's the same thing. It's the same way with us. There's a lot of energy coming into our auric field that's being reflected back. We can arrange our mental makeup within the aura to trap this energy and push this energy back out. The same way we have the solar panels. The only thing about a solar panel is that the molecules in the solar panel, they arrange the glass in a certain formation to trap the sunlight, and then they channel it into a battery. So we can do the same thing with our bodies, And the yogi's been saying this for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, that we can rearrange our mental configuration of the aura and pull this energy in that's coming from the sun, majorly from us, from the sun, the earth, and the moon, and we can trap this energy and redirect it in the way we want to. That's what Mudra Yoga is all about too. The yoga of hand signs. That's what that's all about. All right.
So what is it that reflects it back out? Are some stars?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily some scars, but our auric configuration. And our auric configuration is determined by the level of consciousness that we're at. Which also determines your samskaras within the aura. Okay. Did I lose anybody? Everybody understand so far?
I have a question on practicing dynamic prayer. Is there a difference between the flow of intent through emotion, or can it be just one bullet? You concentrate on those different intentions and it goes on.
It depends on you. It depends on you and how strong you feel about certain statements in your prayer that you're doing. Of course, if you have a strong belief in God, and when you erect the name God, then a greater flow of energy going to flow, because remember what I said, sound is what? And consciousness comes from where? Kundalini. So what you're doing, you're erecting a greater flow of Kundalini, through your consciousness when you pronounce a certain word that you have a strong belief in. If you have a strong belief in God or peace or love, then it's going to make a difference on the prana that you're projecting. All right? So that's the difference. Yeah.
How do you build that faith in God?
I think the best way to do it is through contemplative, meditative exercises. Study, and then do your meditative or contemplative exercises. That's the only way, I think. Because I can stand up here and I can give you all different type of stuff, but if you never take it back in a quiet moment with yourself, then you won't have that, that belief. You have to go into the silence, like I taught you, to go into the silence and use that technique and concentrate on that. That's the best way. And it builds a strong belief in God because you begin to see the absolute all around you. And then you begin to believe in the power of the absolute. Any other questions?
How then do you differentiate, or how do you get rid of other people's thoughts? Because you said there are all thoughts are not form.
Yeah, I told you, well, if you, in the technique, if you concentrate on the technique and you put all your emotions and feelings in that, then that's all you're gonna be thinking about. Anybody ever been brokenhearted from a love affair?
Nobody raised their hand.
Come on, I know everybody went through that, right? Right? Now, when you going through that, do you think about anything else?
No.
No.
You have pure, uninterrupted concentration. And anybody who come around you, and don't let that person be psychic, because it disgusts them. I mean, it's really disgusting when a person's going through that. So that's the type of state you want to bring about. You know, you want to bring about that undivided level of concentration, where everything you go and touch, it reminds you of that person. You know, a song come on, oh my God, it reminds you of that person. You know, I mean, a television show come on, it reminds you of that person. So I mean, that's when you get into that state, nothing can interrupt that. And that's the level of concentration you want to bring about. But you want to bring it about in a controlled manner, not in an uncontrolled manner, that you're in with the broken love affair. Okay? So when you dive deep down into the dynamic prayer with all your emotions, controlled emotions, you'll notice that you have concentration, where you have this level, this ability to block out everything. After a while, you won't hear anything around you. That moment will be that moment and nothing else. And that's where you want to go. It's the same way if you practice japa, which is repetition of mantra. You'll notice that when you're doing the mantra, the mantra is your whole world. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything. You're just there, and you look up, and an hour has passed. So that's the state you want to be in with the dynamic prayer.
So is it then what if you're doing the prayer, like the 12 lessons practice, and then when you see all these images, like a square, a big round ball, and all these things, images.
Ignore them. You don't want to, because that happens. When you get into your prayer, you begin to have these psychic visions. And you don't want to concentrate on the psychic visions. You want to concentrate on the prayer. Because the more energy that runs through the body, the more psychic you become, in a sense. Now, if you go into the psychic, other things are going to come about. Now, when you will get to the level where you can control the psychic ability, and that's good. Then you use the psychic energy. But in the beginning, when it just pops up and you have all the different symbols and colors and so-called angel-looking people, you want to dismiss that. You don't want to concentrate on that, because your main purpose is to push the energy out to the point you want to go to. It'll come a day that when you begin to push the energy out, you'll notice that when you push the energy out for peace, you'll notice that it's a particular color, and it makes certain wavy lines. And at that point, you know that that it's working for you. So now you want to concentrate on that particular image, that particular color, that particular waveline to increase that. And that's where your psychic power come in at. That's where that psychic energy come in at that point. But you don't want to concentrate on it then in the basic state because it's not going to help you. Yeah.
So in that sense, with the energy, is it better to focus on, say, just peace or just world healing, or say peaceful
No,
healing?
no, not necessarily. I mean, it's whatever you're doing. It's whatever you're doing, because when you focus on pushing energy to those to those who love, or the wise ones or whatever, you may see a whole different color. But the thing I'm saying, wherever color come up and you know that represents your mental configuration, then you want to increase that with your psychic energy or your contemplation, your concentration contemplation. But in the beginning, one of the reasons why I tell you not to dwell too much on the psychic, because when you dwell too much on the psychic in that state, it discolors the energy in a negative way, in a sense, because it allows grasshopping thoughts to come in. All right? And usually with psychic energy is very, very strong and heavy sexual energy. Okay? Anyone that dealt in the psychic world, they one step away from being a sexual maniac or whatever, or a nympho or whatever, because it increases the psychic energy in the body, and it can take you off in the wrong way. So that's one reason why you control those energies. You control your mind so that you can control the psychic energy in the body, because the psychic energy brings about strong urges for different things. And it's not until you control those energies that you can make use of the psychic energy. That's why most psychic people, they kind of like off to most other people. They out there. When they haven't had a proper training. Okay, so that's one reason why you don't concentrate on the psychic. You take control. You push it aside and keep focusing. And after a while, it will align itself with you, because it has to follow a higher purpose. All right? Any other questions on that?
So when we're trained to send out a white light and to visualize a white light, does that encompass all the other energies that could possibly come out as well, or is that just a way of focusing on specifically one thing without?
That's a way of focusing on one thing, and it does encompass all light. As scientists said, if you concentrate all colors into one beam, what do you have? White. So it's a balance of all the colors. All right. It's not until you get a good level of concentration that you can break out and use colors. All right.
It's the same thing with healing?
Same thing with healing. You have to work hard to do color healing, because the grasshopping thoughts. You have to bring about a level of concentration. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we was going to go into prayer rituals. And that's the 12 lessons. That's what we're going to go into. You can have we do this particular practice, and here it's called 12 lessons. And
Can I ask you a question before you get into that?
go ahead.
Is it a sign of weakness if you're doing the prayers, and even though you're trying to control yourself, and you see the energy, you feel the energy flowing, but you just see, for some reason, just tears start coming from your eyes?
Control it. I know a lot of members, a lot of people that's in there, I notice they do that.
But even though you're controlling it, but it still keeps coming out.
You still have to break away from that and control it. You know, allow it to happen after you finish. You know, all of us feel that, at least I do. You know, I have moments where I cry, whatever, but I do not allow it to interrupt what I'm doing. And then when it's all over with, I go in private and do that.
Well,
But
if you do it now, is it distorting the energy you just put out?
well, if you're doing it while you're doing it, because if you start bursting out crying, how can you actually do the prayer?
No, not crying, but like sometimes I can control it. I still, but yet I want to. It's like a physical thing, physiological thing more
I
than.
know. All of us feel that. I mean, I see it happen to a lot of. But I'm saying, don't go into it. Don't let it take you away from what you're doing, because you want to bring about a strong level of concentration. You know, by you focusing in on the tears and allowing the tears to just take over, then you're going to discolor the energy. Don't you think? I mean, just logically.
Yeah, no. What I'm asking you, but even though you're not focusing on it, like your whole focus is on the prayers, but yet tears keep coming down from your eyes, even though you're trying to.
I understand what you're
trying to
saying,
stop
but,
it.
I mean, don't focus on it at all. Just move on.
Okay.
If you move on, the tears will stop. Because the tears have to come about with some type of energy or mental ability, emotions, you know. But and that happens a lot, you know, especially the more you get into it. It's just one of the things that happen. Just like when you're doing the prayer, you feel like you itching, you want to scratch, you know. And that's the energy going, you know, rubbing all over the body. The molecules of the aura begin to spin, and they begin to rub against each other, and you have this itching thing that, you know. So it happens, you know. Then you have this out of body experience, you know, where you feel like you're up here, and you know, and you're not aware of the body. So, but all those things, remember. In the Sutras of Patanjali, it said that as you move forward towards spiritual development, the psychic body comes alive. And one of the main purposes of the psychic body coming alive is that the basic self don't want you to move forward spiritually.
So he's trying to trap you into.
Yes. So the psychic body is used as a weapon to hold you back. You know, so it brings about all these different psychic experiences in an uncontrolled manner in order to trap you in this basic state of mind where the basic self, rules. See, and have you subject to all your flights of emotion. So that's that's one of the things that you want to move away from. You know, you want to take control. You want the lower selves of you to recognize that you are in control. That you, the spirit, you, the soul, is now in control, and they will answer to you and no one else. And that's what you want to do, because you gotta imagine the basic self of you have been going through countless lives, one reincarnation after another. And that's the thing that makes up your complex personality right now. And that part of you don't want to leave this world. It wants you to stay in a basic state of mind that you're in. You know, so that it can continue to survive. But if you move forward spiritually and begin to dwell in the higher conscious levels, then the basic self must die. And all the likes, dislikes, emotions, and all the things that have you in a mindless state of pleasure, it will not trap you there anymore. Your time will be used for in a more viable way. You won't be trapped, behind the desk, or doing some type of computer game or whatever. You won't be trapped in all the mindless things that we do every day. You'll take the 24 hours a day and you'll make it work for you, to hire you. And the basic self doesn't want that. It's the same way with very successful people. If you look at very successful people, even if they're successful in the physical world, they control the hours of their day. Okay? So when you get to the spiritual world, it's the same thing you must do, control the hours of your day. Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
So before, like in the very beginning, or sometimes off and on, when you don't have any sensations, you don't have any visions or anything like that, and it feels like you're just saying the prayer, how can you judge your effectiveness?
How can you judge? It's just like riding a bike. When you get on the bike, you fall down flat on your face over and over and over and over. So you just gotta keep getting up and riding and trying to ride until you can ride. And once you gain the balance over that bike, what happened? You begin to feel the sensations, of moving free through space, of moving from one place to the next without any interruptions, and quicker than what you can walk. So it's the same thing with this prayer, the same thing with anything. You have to bring about that balance, and you'll feel the energy, you'll see the lights, you'll see what Augustine was talking about, all the squares, triangles, and those are different energy configurations. You'll begin to see all of that. And when you close your eyes, you'll see right through your eyelids, or you'll see on your eyelids, either or. You'll notice those things in prayer, in this technique of prayer. So I mean, that's just one of the things you have to do. You have to keep it up until you begin to see these things and feel it, and know that it's happening.
But that's really, you can only judge it by the sensations that are happening to you. Like, you'll never really know what the prayer is doing.
No, you'll know. You'll know. I just told you, you'll know. When you get to that level of contemplation, you'll be able to see the energy go out. And you'll be able to see the signature of that energy. And you'll be able to know, if I'm praying for someone, I hate to use myself, but if I'm praying for someone and I send the energy, let's say that person's sick, and I'm praying for them and I send the energy out to them in that prayer, I can feel that prayer hit their aura. They can be 100 miles away from me, but I can feel that prayer hit their aura. And I can feel the prayer going, the energy of the prayer waving through their aura. At times I can feel it moving away from me through open space and ascending on the place. Sometimes I see the place that it is ascending on. And then I can feel it go through them. And then I would know, how long it would take for them to be healed or whatever. So in contemplation brings about that level of insight, okay? In your prayer or in your healing, in your absent healing as well. So that's the thing that you want. That's the level you want to get to, that and higher than that. But you can do it. And we, in fact, as a prayer group, we actually witnessed that one time, right? Someone was in the hospital, and we put them on the phone, and the doctor had told them they had to stay there for a couple more days. and we formed a circle and prayed, and within hours, they told them they can go home. So what we did, we put one person in the middle, and everyone else prayed, and that one person collected the energy and sent it to that person, and within hours, that person was leaving the hospital. So it works. It works. So I mean, you know, but you know, everyone doesn't feel it the same way, you know. So it's different. There's different levels.
And how specific is the mudra,
The
the prayer mudra that we use? How specific is it?
what you mean in what way?
Like I remember you were telling me before, I don't know if you know this, but depending on where you place your hand, you can feel the different pranas.
Yeah. That's why we say concentrate on the heart center. Hold the hands up like this to activate the heart chakra.
I mean, is it good to keep the hands at a 90-degree angle, like here, or
Yeah.
directly level with the shoulder?
Or like this, yes. Or like this. You can let it fall down, but right by, you know, the heart. Or you can hold it like this. But concentrate on pushing that energy out through, you know, through the heart chakra and through the palms of the hands. And it's very, very effective. I mean, you'll notice it. Just do it several times and you'll feel the energy. You'll feel the energy. I mean, I could talk from now to next Sunday about it, but until you do it, you got to do it so you can feel the energy. And that's the thing about it. You got to feel the energy. And the energy is there. And the mudra works. The mudra works. Okay?
What about when the hands move themselves? What about when the hand moves itself?
Don't let the hand. I see a lot of people do that, but I disagree with that. Don't move the hand. Not until you know why you're moving the hand. You know.
What do you mean? What do you mean him move yourself?
Like sometimes
Some people, you'll see some people
like
doing
it'll
this.
adjust itself and then
Don't do that. In my opinion, don't do it. You know, maybe somebody may say I'm wrong, but don't do it. I mean, I've only been doing this 40-something years, but don't do it. I mean, because, you know, one of the reasons that, you know, what is intelligence? Intelligence is what? What did I keep telling you intelligence is?
predetermining your action.
Predetermine your actions. That's what intelligence is. You know, you fall into this emotional state, you know. Now, if I ask them why you're doing that and they can give me a definite reason, then I would consider it. But most people who I see do that, they can't give me a definite reason why they do it. That's like speaking in tongues. You know, what did you just say? I don't know. You know, and so
Spirit.
you know, the Spirit made me speak in tongues, and it doesn't make sense. You know, give me a correct a reason and why that happened and why you saying that. You know, so or why you doing it. It doesn't work. You know, that's from the 9 freedoms too. Intelligence is what? What is it again? Yeah, intelligence. Predetermine your actions, right? So don't fall prey to that. That's in my opinion, that's one of the psychic obstacles. You know, because that's what psychic powers are. You know, in the beginning, it's a real obstacle to you because why? You haven't controlled the what the yogis call the impurities within the aura. And the impurities within the aura is your basic emotions. You still crave and lust after things, and you have these great passions for things. So until you control those things, because remember, those things are bits of negative psychic energy in the nadis.
Samskaras.
It's not only sanskaras, it's just energy formations. It's negative astral energy formations that make up your personality. And the yogis call them impurities. And that's what you're trying to flush out of the nadis. You're trying to flush those things out of the nadis. You know, when a male see a beautiful woman and you begin to lust after them, those are the impurities of your mental makeup. You have to flush them out. You have to control them. The same thing with a banana split. The same thing with all these different foods or McDonald's. You notice the kids have this or see the McDonald's and they want to go to McDonald's. Those are the impurities.
Fame too, right? Fame and.
Fame, yeah. So, yeah. They want to be seen, they want to be heard. YouTube, Facebook, impurities.
Words with friends.
You know, so those are the things, anything that draws you in there and keep you from doing things that's you know, I mean, just wasting your time. You know, wasting your time. Those are impurities. That's a part of your mind that you must control. You must control it. You know, when you can do something and then detach yourself from it right away, you have control. But when you get trapped in there and keep wanting to go over and keep thinking about it and keep, you don't have any control. So that's what you want to stay away from.
It's like I asked about the mudra, because sometimes it's in 12 blessings. I realize if I get tired and my hands fall, I'll feel like a buildup here or like a pressure here, and then I'll push my hands up and then it's fine. Or just I'll feel different things depending on where my hands are. So I want to know how specific the placement is.
I told you, if you want to activate the heart chakra, then you want to be here.
Be level with that.
Yeah. Or push it out here. If it's hard to be over here, push it out here. You know, but you know.
You always want to keep.
Lying down. It's like,
No.
we do it lying down. Lying down,
You have to sit up or stand. You have to sit or stand. You want your spine to be as straight as it can. You don't want the spine to be, twisted. Yeah.
You're saying that we need to put direction and power into the prana, and I'm looking at how there's like 5 major pranas, right?
Mhm.
And I'm thinking that perhaps the one that's called prana, and the prana that's called
No, don't
prana.
worry about that. All of it's prana.
So it doesn't matter.
The only reason why I gave you the 5 major pranas is because I want you to have a knowledge of the prana. But all of it is prana. All of it is one energy, but there's different aspects of the prana. In other words, there's 5 major flows of prana that's coming from different chakras in the body.
Right.
All right, but all of it's still prana. There's just different aspects of the prana. All right? So don't concentrate on any one prana. You only do that when you get into pranayama. And that's an advanced pranayama. So you don't have to worry about it at the beginning. Yeah.
I know you told us that the reason we face east is because that's the direction that prana flows, from east to west.
Yeah.
But I've always been confused about that.
Why?
If I stand in a pool and the water's flowing from east to west, and I'm facing east, then I'm standing against the flow of the current. And if I try and push water out, or energy out, or whatever out in the direction that it's flowing, then it'll go backwards. So I'm asking, doesn't that cause interference if we're sending
No,
energy
it don't.
into the direction of it?
No. It don't. Where's the command center?
The price center?
It don't.
You're just confusing me.
No, because the command center, the energy does what? It responds to the command center, right?
Right.
Who in here know about rigor mortis? Anybody know about it? Where does rigor mortis start at?
From the head down.
Head down. So what is that telling you? That don't tell you nothing? It tells you this, that once that center shuts down, the energy is free to go where it wants to go. When that center is in operation, the energy must respond to that center. The Christ center is a command center for all the energy in the body. Okay, so the Christ center which is the I am, right? If the Christ Center give direction to that prana, then that prana is going to go where it's going to go. You understand? It's the same way. It's the same way. What's that? Moses, who was a master of the Christ Center. He directed the ocean to part, right? And the ocean parted. See? The same, Elijah did the same thing. He directed a pond to part, and it parted. Jesus did the same thing. He was Jesus Christ. They call him Christ because why? He was a great master. He had control over all energy, all elements around him. So that's the difference. So the energy helps make up our consciousness, and we work on the levels of consciousness. And I think that's the hardest thing for everyone to understand. These levels of consciousness. The energy coming from the sun, it works on different levels of consciousness. Even though we see the physical sun, never see the energy there, but there's different levels. And each one of those levels are different realms of existence. But it's very hard for everyone to understand that. The chakras are only a level of consciousness. All right? So it's not gonna, you're not going against the tide. No.
But that's not the point, though. The point is not to go, it's like the water analogy is not a good analogy.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
On the surface, it looks that way, but when you stand and face the east, what you're doing is you're really doing a sanyama. And what you're doing is you're positioning yourself to repeat the process that brought creation into being. That's why you breathe in rhythm, because the universe exists in rhythm. So when you stand in the east, it's not like you're sending out energy to be carried like a little boat in a wave of water. You're positioning yourself to be the absolute, in the sense that when the sun directs energy to the earth and it hits the earth, it flows from east to west, and that's what you're doing. You're positioning yourself to repeat that process.
Or we think that it's doing that. We think that it's flowing east to west. We think that all the energy is going east to west, but we know that it rises in the east, but we also know that there's 360 what? Tabic rays. So and that's being split up into what? Into all these different chakras. Into all these different realms of existence. So I mean, what you see and what's actually happening is totally different. You know? It's just like if you're looking in if half of your body is in the water and half of your body is out of the water, it looks like you bent some type of way. But what you see is not really what's happening. You know? All right, any other questions? Have I confused you all enough? No? Okay, let's see, we got time. Okay, group prayer, that's what it is? Group prayer. Group prayer is what we do with the 12 lesson practice, where we form a circle or we face the east and we say a series of prayers, and we allow that 20 to 40 minutes that we sit in that prayer. We allow energy, this prana, to flow through us as a group and send it out to a particular purpose for world peace or whatever. But what we do, we send the prayer. We have 12 blessings that we use, or 12 different prayer methods or blessings that we use. in order to balance our mental configuration in sending out the prayers. And we do a prayer for the peace workers. We do one for the wise ones. We do one for the interplanetary. One for they who love. And we do one for the interplanetary beings. And what we call interplanetary beings are beings like Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, people who, great masters who came here to this earth. And we do one to the Thanksgivers, which is the David Kingdom. Then we do one for they who heal. And we do one for the Mother Earth. We send a blessing to the Mother Earth. We send a blessing to the mighty Sun. We send a blessing to the supreme laws of karma. We send a blessing to the galaxy. And we send a blessing to the supreme laws of creation. And we send a blessing to the absolute, which is God. And then we do the last blessing, and we send it to Jesus, who gave us this technique to use. And we bless the Master Jesus. And we do this in a uniform way. First, before we start anything, we purify the body with visualization practices of the violet flame. And then we further purify the body with mantra. Before we actually do the service, we make sure the room is empty, and we burn incense to clear the room for at least 15 minutes. And we also place colored lights in the room, which is a green light to purify, and no one enters that room for at least 15 minutes before the service start. And then we go in as a group, and we do the visualization practice to erect the violet flame around ourselves. And we chant mantra in order to cleanse the auric fields. And then we go into the prayers and into the blessings. We may say some introduction prayers. We have one prayer that we say, the prayer for the spiritual workers. We have another prayer we say, the New Lord's Prayer. And then we do the 12 blessings. And then we have a closing prayer, a closing mantra for that at the set. But while we're doing those 12 prayers, everyone is concentrating on bringing the energy, the white light through them, pushing it out of their heart center and the palms of their hands, and the blessings. You have one person leading the service, and they may say the blessings, and then while they say the blessings, everyone imagine the energy sending through them. And then when they say the prayer, everyone joins in on the prayer. And then everyone goes silent again. Then the leaders say the blessing again. They direct the energy down through them. And the leader give them, when he say so it is done, or she say so it is done, they know that you start with the voicing of the prayer, and you say the prayer. So it works. Everybody, I think it's only a few of you who haven't been to one, but can everybody testify that they feel something that works?
No question.
And you can feel the energy. You can feel the energy leaving you, and afterwards, maybe a couple hours afterwards, you feel something hit you again, where there's a return of the energy, because if you send something out, there's always a return, and you feel this return of the energy come back to you for blessing, for having this balanced blessing go out. So it works, and it's a real experience to show you that these things work. And that's, also, we do a group healing. In a group healing session, we form a circle, and one person lead, and that person may have an opening prayer of allowing that circle to invoke the prana, and then they may do a mantra to cleanse, to clear, and then everyone have a list. We have one list, and then after we say that particular list of names of people we want to send this energy to, we form a mantra circle, and when they call the name out, we chant the mantra and imagine that this energy is going to that particular person that have been spoken. And what the mantra does, when you chant a holy mantra, which is a holy Sanskrit is a holy name of God. It's, you know, in Sanskrit language. When you chant that mantra, the mantra have an effect on your aura and your chakra system. It actually calibrates the chakras to a point where it spins the aura and allows you to push out a greater flow of energy. And when that person's name is spoken and you chant that mantra, you can actually feel the flow of energy come on and go off in the palms of the hands. You know, that's what the mantra does. When you concentrate on that particular person that's ill and you send it, you can feel the flow, you know, you can feel like a heaviness begin. It's the same way you're holding a hose pipe and the water come out. You feel that flow of energy coming from your hand, and it goes to that particular person. So and everyone in the group may add to that list, 3 or 4 names, and everyone go around, and then the leader of that particular healing session, he or she will close out that with a prayer and a closing mantra. And it's very effective. Like I said, we've seen miracles happen in our healing circle as well. Okay? So those are group prayer sessions. It's the only way. You have to come and see it. You have to experience it. I can talk about it from now to next week, but the best way to do it is to participate. All right. Any questions?
Can we ask specific questions on the 12 lessons, or can we wait till next week for that?
What type of specific question? Want to get outrageous?
Like why some of the blessings, most of the blessings have prayers, but some don't. Like why is it?
I mean, that's just the way Master Jesus, when he spoke to Dr. George King, that's just the way it happened. I don't think there's any specific reason. It was a manipulation of energy, if you remember. Mm-hmm. Did you read or hear any of the
I read it, but I
lecture
didn't
tapes?
understand what I was reading.
Any of the lecture tapes?
Oh no.
Well, each one of these was did at a particular week on a Sunday. And what happened was the Master Jesus appeared before Dr. King and told him that he wanted to send particular energies, energies through him in order to prevent some type of catastrophe at the time. I think it was in England, right?
Yeah, it was a flood.
Yeah. And what happened was, at that particular time, during that particular time when he had to do this, he couldn't even speak to anyone for at least 24 hours before he took the blessing. So he took a vow of silence. And then, right at the blessings, they would send the energy through him, right? And the people in the audience, and I spoke to some of the people who was there at the time, and they told me it was totally amazing. They seen visions, all type of things. I mean, all of them can tell you all different type of stories that happen, and they can feel the flow of energy going through them. And at one time, it got so bad that they were literally want to pull their skin off because the energy was so heavy. Dr. King developed, I don't know if it was then or the second one, but he developed a machine that would stop the itching. And he put it up inside the place when anytime he did the transmission when they were being used, so that they wouldn't, so that the whole thing wouldn't be disturbed from people scratching and moving around. But I mean, all of them can tell you all different type of stories. But he did this over a 12-week period, and it was to release energy to the world that was to stop some type of catastrophe that was about to happen. You know, so each one of these blessings, it was some type of energy manipulation. So it was not, I mean, I'm sure it was a real reason why it wasn't a prayer behind it, but maybe it didn't need a prayer behind it. You know,
So
but the blessing itself is like, to me, the whole blessing is a prayer itself.
So when we substitute the AUM in place of a prayer, what is that doing?
That's just a balancing effect for the blessing itself. Because before we didn't do anything, we would just be in silence and push the energy out. But then things develop as go on. Dr. King introduced the AUM in that.
So that's done after the prayer to the sun,
To the second blessing,
the second blessing?
the sun and the Lord's
Is that
account.
also carnal?
We do the AUM.
And the first blessing is the only one where we say so endeth after the prayer.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do that either. You can say it before to keep the structure there. You don't have to do it after the prayer. When you're doing the blessings, when you're not reading the blessings, because you can read each blessing. You can do the 12 blessings where you read each blessing and then do the prayer. But if you're not reading the blessing, you just say in the heading, you can say, so it is done. All right. Any other questions?
Is it, the 12 blessings, is it meant like a group prayer?
You can do it, I mean, we use it as a group. It's more effective as a group than as an individual. But, I mean, you can do it individually too. But it's more powerful doing it as a group. All right?
And why do we recite most of the 12th blessing?
What you mean?
After the blessed is the absolute. Well, I mean, when I do it for myself, I recite the same part you recite when you read it.
Mhm.
Like, how can we do that instead of just skipping directly to the prayer?
Because that's the technique where you do. I mean, you could do it the other way, but the technique is to read the last blessing. To read the last blessing, and I think it's helpful because if you meditate on that, then you'll understand.
And in a group, the other people chant while somebody reads, right?
Yeah.
But and when you sit in the silence, take passages from that particular blessing, and you'll see. It's a quick way to, I think, to move the power of Kundalini by concentrating on that last blessing.
What happens to Kundalini during the 12th blessing?
What you mean, what happens to it?
Like, what does it do?
You heighten your consciousness. So what do you think's happening?
You raise it a little bit.
You raise it a little bit because you heighten your consciousness. Remember, Kundalini is the vehicle of consciousness. So while you are praying, you're heightening your consciousness. You're raising a little bit of the Kundalini, and you're channeling all your energies in one direction. So you should notice there's a big difference in doing that and casual conversation.
Yeah.
Remember that the tip of the tongue is a psychic center. And that tip of the tongue is directly connected to what?
The basis.
The base of the spine, where Kundalini is dormant. So that's one of the greatest expression of Kundalini is the tongue. It's sound. And sound is consciousness. All right?
So should the back hurt, the lower back hurt during 12 lessons?
Should it? You asked if it should hurt?
It don't hurt for me though.
But does it hurt for you? Is that what you asked?
Sometimes I have to stand up because it hurts.
You should be standing.
Well, you don't have to stand, you can sit, but I like standing. But you don't have to stand.
It would have hurt too when I stand, but not as much.
Huh?
It would have hurt too when I stand, but not as much.
Are you thinking that Kundalini will be rising? Is that why?
Or I'm getting old or something.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
Well, if I do it in the morning, I do pranayama first and then the 12 lessons.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, the lower back hurts and it goes up the spine.
Yeah, what, now in pranayama, you should feel it hurt, because it hurts. It hurted me in pranayama. And my sisters, I remember we used to do it a lot as kids. It hurt doing your pranayama exercises.
Yeah, it hurt both times. but-
Hurt that major pressure, you feel a tremendous pressure there, or is it like, how does it feel?
Well, I started ignoring it because it's annoying, but it starts at the bottom and it kind
It's
of
like an
works.
ice pick, something like,
Yeah.
like something cold. Yeah, that's from pranayama. That happens from pranayama exercise.
Leave will take care of
That happens with pranayama. You just gotta bear with that, and then after a while you'll get used to it. Okay, if there's no other questions, we can close out. Next week we only got 2 more classes. I can wrap it up next week with
July the 8th.
this question.